coming up in this edition, the Sierra Leone Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative SLATI Secretariat concludes sensitization and dissemination on the 2015-2016 EITI report. Over 200 Sierra Leoneans from Sam Chiefdom who fled over the border to neighboring Guinea for the fear of alleged harassment by the Sierra Leonean police returned home. 50 Most Influential Women Committee awards about 50 women for their contributions to national development. All the stories and more line up in this edition of the news with me, Mariam Su. The Sierra Leone Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative SLATI Secretariat has been holding sensitization and dissemination on the 2015-2016 EITI report with key focus on opportunities and challenges. In separate working days, each the exercise targeted major stakeholders such as civil society activists, pupils and students of secondary and tertiary institutions, and the political administrative heads of Moyamba, Bo, Kono, and Potloko, which are the country's main mining districts. Patrick Salia was in their company and summarizes the outcome, including the real picture of mining activities and the communities in this report.
The history of governance and management of the extractive industries in West Africa has produced mixed results. It has financed transformational development projects and infrastructure to provide social services for citizens. In a more gruesome and tragic way, the exploitation of extractive resources has regrettably financed some of Africa's most brutal armed conflicts, such as the 11-year civil war in Sierra Leone, which started in 1991. Across Sierra Leone, mining activities from artisanal to industrial never stops. Potloko, Tonkolili, Moyamba, Bo, Kenema and Kono are the country's major hubs, hosting giant companies mining especially iron ore, gold, bauxite, coltan and diamond. The latter district, Kono, in the eastern region, is of course the most populous among them. There is hardly any area in its headquarter town, Koidu, like in many other villages and towns, without a mining pit.
This is the new Koidu Sembeun city, the district headquarter town for Kono, where diamond was first discovered in Sierra Leone in 1930. It continues to be the richest district in the country in the diamond trade. But the wealth and riches from this district, like in many other places across the country, have hardly reflected on the welfare of the people. The people here continue to wallow in abject poverty, and the communities too have very little to account for the mineral wealth of this area.
Down to Potloko, the district which is believed hosts the country's second largest iron ore deposit and first in bauxite. The council chairman Ibrahim Santigi Bangura said his people within the mining communities have grudgingly suffered enough. And key among the issues they at the council have repeatedly complained about, reoccurring the concerns of affected community people, include unemployment of locals and welfare care.
In as much as I am appreciating the Sierra Leone extractive industry that is collecting reports on the activities of mining companies in Sierra Leone, you should also be mindful of these companies that they have started responsibilities in the areas of operations. One, the employment opportunities for the people, because the people in these areas are directly affected by the changes of this environment. Secondly, they have certain responsibilities also we refer to as the community or social corporate responsibilities. Some of these things are not seen visible in these areas of their operations.
He therefore called on the EITI Secretariat to assist in the supervision at mining communities in order to ensure standard compliance. Potloko has two major companies mining the two natural resources in the four chiefdoms, but the resident minister for that northwestern region, Haja Aissata Abdullah Kamara, says the mineral wealth of the district has over the years been enjoyed by others outside the district, leaving the host to look like one of the biggest villages in the country. Such a situation, she said, is a curse rather than a blessing to the people hosting the mines.
But if you look at those 4 chiefdoms, you can see that there is nothing this chiefdom can show for the wealth that is coming from the mining company. So for me, if you have something and it is not giving you a positive, for me it is not a blessing, rather it is a curse.
A pupil of the Potloka District Catholic Secondary School, Fode M. Kamara, therefore called for at least 40% of the mining activities across the country be shut down to make way for increased agricultural productivity. The 15-year-old told me that they do not know how revenues generated by the mining sector are being utilized, neither does the money or other resources positively impact on their lives.
If it is agriculture now, at least you can go to the market, buy your 3 cup or 4 cup at least a reasonable price, 500 or 600, so that you can manage your education, the education standard or your life. But mining, as for me, will bring disaster, time of flooding, because of, if you check, if those guys or those people come to go and mine in our country, if they ask them to recover again the ores that they are leaving us, that is not good, because they are mixed up the soil. So when you check that, where mining are going on, if you check, do some agriculture, the plants are not going well. They are not doing well. The product is not good.
National Coordinator for the Sierra Leone Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, Maina Horace, noted the concerns raised and promised to analyze and work on them as and when necessary. Mining is still one of the biggest employer within the private sector, and revenue earnings to the state, especially through payment of royalties by the companies to the government. Therefore, this sector has always been a key priority to successive governments. President Julius Maada Bio, for instance, had on 10th May 2018 said to the Legislative House that his government will review the current mining law, pass a new law on the mining and revenue, including value addition to the raw materials mined before exports. He has repeatedly, at national and international levels, demanded for transparency and accountability on beneficial ownership in the extractives sector. That's because, according to him, rogue actors and rogue beneficiaries have squandered away wealth from the extractives through opaque ownership arrangements and illicit international financial flows. The Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, EITI, is a global standard for the good governance of oil, gas and mineral resources, seeking to address the key governance issues within the extractive sector.
Thanks to Patrick Salia for putting that report together. The resident minister for Northwest Region, Aja Aissata Abdullahi Kamara, has repatriated Ceylonians who fled the border to neighboring Guinea for fear of alleged harassment by the Ceylon police. The people, mainly from the Menkia community in the Salmon Chiefdom, told the minister that the reason why they were afraid to return to their communities was because people from Mapontolo came with catapult and slings to use against them at night. Sreba Samura went across the border and he now reports.
The minister arrived in Mapotolong to see for herself the aftermath of the police operation at Mapotolong in Samu Chiefdom, Kambia district, to retrieve building materials meant to construct a hospital in that area. She worked over to the other side of the border in Guinea to meet with the people after they had fled their communities, including the woman who was allegedly beaten by police during the operation. In a brief statement why they decided to stay in Guinea, the spokesman for the refugees, Sayo Chiko Kamara, explained that it was not their will to run away from their community, but that they were faced with an issue of insecurity in the hands of their neighbors in Mapotolong. Chiko mentioned the misinformation from the Kambia district medical officer and council chairman leading up to the location of the site on which the hospital was to be built.
What the paramount chief did to us is unfair. If he knew that the materials did not belong to us, he should not have sent the DMO and others to us to provide land for the construction of the hospital.
Haja Aisata Abdullahi Kamara told the people that government is concerned about the welfare of its people, adding that their presence in Guinea sends a negative signal because the country is not at war. Sierra Leone's sovereignty, she went on, will be at stake should the people continue to live in Guinea as refugees. She encouraged them to return to the communities they came from, while assuring them the security concerns they raised with her will be addressed by the relevant authorities. The minister acknowledged there are divisions among them, but that those can only be addressed when they come together and live as one people. She made sure she led them to their community in Menker, where she visited the proposed site for the construction of the hospital and the new site at Mapotolong, where the materials were taken to after the operation at Menkia. Suriba Samura, Freetown.
Area chairman for the National Grand Coalition Party, NGC, and 16 others have defected to the SLPP. The 16 includes members from the All People's Congress that have joined the SLPP fold. The declaration was made at the SLPP headquarters in Freetown, where hundreds of the party supporters converged to welcome them. Joseph Turi witnessed the ceremony and in our reports.
Politics has been described as a game. When played well, can lead to the realization of dreams. It is also believed that having permanent friends is not certain, as interest overrides friendship in politics. This gathering, which attracted hundreds of party supporters and members to welcome Chief Brahma Keita and others, which they described as a big gun in the politics of Western area. It was a joyful moment as youth groups expressed appreciation during the welcome ceremony. Deputy National Chair and leader of SLPP, Umaru Dumbia, heartily welcomed them and referred to them as brothers and not strangers to the party. He also expressed forgiveness on them on behalf of the leadership for initially leaving the party and called on them to embrace the party to move forward. Mr. Dumbia noted that numerical strength is important for the survival of any party. Chief Brahma Keita apologized to the party for leaving it for the past 6 years, stating that he had some confrontations with some people within the party and not with the party itself. He noted that he felt honored to be back what he described as home and promised to do more in his ability to create great impact in the Western area in future elections.
But now that we're in power, I am coming back to rebrand the SLPP party.
Nearly 16 other members who had left the SLPP for NGC registered their apology and promising to give their best as well. The SLPP was among the first political parties that fought for Sierra Leone's independence, and it also produced the first and second prime ministers in the country. SLBC News, Joseph Toure, Freetown.
About 50 women have been awarded for their contributions to national development as the British Council called. The 50 women were crowned by a committee made up of more than 10 organizations called 50 Most Influential Women in the Country. Francis Danima reports.
Are said to be most influential we had gone from the police force, religious bodies, civil society, politicians, among others. Kadi Fakondo, former AIG of the Sierra Leone Police, is one of the most influential women who received an award. Before she retired in 2013, she was Divisional Commander for Support Services, Crime Services, Professional Standards, and Personnel Training and Welfare. From 2009 to 2013, she solicited support from partners and donors for the professional development of the government of Sudan Police. Madam Fakondo also worked with international and national partners in the implementation of quick impact projects in Darfur. She led in the establishment of the UNAMI Police Women Network and the Government of Sudan Police Women Network in Darfur. Another person selected as the most influential is Pastor Mrs. Hawa Mambu, wife of Pastor Francis Mambu, the founder and general overseer of Faith Healing Bible Church. Pastor Hamambu is said to have counseled several children and couples to ensure they achieve their academic dreams and maintain a peaceful home. She currently holds a radio program on Redeemer Radio Network to counsel women every Saturday. Many people believe that she has contributed greatly to the success of her husband's ministry. Yunaisi Nafisatu Mustafa is another recipient of the 50 Most Influential Women Award. Nafisatu has been an advocate since she was a secondary school pupil. She contributed to raising funds and supporting the less privileged. She became president of the Children's Forum Network and Watch Secondary School, where her work attracted the former First Lady. Before leaving secondary school, Nafisatu formed an organization called Emirate Leadership Initiative Africa that she used to stage several advocacies for young people and children. All the awardees were grateful to God for making the nation recognize their contributions to national development. Other women who received similar awards are Emma Kowa, Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Asma James, Station Manager, Radio Democracy, among others. Karamo Kaba of the All People's Congress, Mercury International and Rokel Commercial Bank were among the special people and organizations that were given special awards for contributing to national development. The 50 most influential women, according to the chairman, Independent Committee for Awards Criteria, Edmond Alimfona, were selected after careful judgment since over 500 women were nominated. He congratulated the successful women and encouraged them to do more. SLBC News, Francis Ndanema reporting.
A CSC dump truck has run over and killed at least one person along Owen Street. 3 people, including the driver, were injured. The accident happened on Saturday afternoon when the driver was trying to maneuver the truck along the Owen Street pedestrian stairwell. According to eyewitness report, the truck fell as a result of brake failure. Residents around the area are complaining that the road project is slow and it is affecting their movement, especially when heavy trucks are plying the route at high speed. They said that CSC wasn't supposed to build a pedestrian stairwell around Owen Street and appealed to the company to construct a high retaining wall and railing around that area to prevent reoccurrence. A team from Commission 64, headed by Commissioner Biobel Children, has visited the National Youth Farm at Maisiaka and Youth Village at Mile 91. Findings by the team show the bad shape of the youth farm and village, which is implemented by the Ministry of Youth. The 2 projects account for huge funds that are the subject of investigation by the ongoing commissions of inquiry. Princess Gibson was among the team, and she now reports.
Mashaka, that is hosting the youth farm. A team from Commission 64, headed by Commissioner George Biobele, has visited the farm to ascertain the viability of the project, following submissions from the state and the defense, including evidence from Commission witnesses. The 250-acre youth farm has 15 acres of pineapple plantation, 20 acres cassava, vegetables, swampland and burnt coconut trees. The pineapple plantation has withered and lacks irrigation. This warranted questions from Commissioner George Will.
Are these things alive?
They are alive. When once it rains, I bet you see they come.
Okay, when were these ones planted? When were they planted?
It was late 2015. Late 2015.
This one?
Yes.
2015?
Yes, my lord.
Project manager Mustafa Toure explained that pineapples were harvested before 2016, the sucker was later transplanted elsewhere. The cassava plant has deposits of garbage. A worker at the farm, Hawa Jallo, aged 50, was questioned why she was working at the farm, as the project was intended to create employment for youth. She remarked that there are other workers that are far older than her working on the farm. Some farming tools were spotted in a store.
So you have 2 wheelbarrows here. Some people with 2 wheelbarrows.
The 22 bedrooms apartments for youth shelter were also in bad shape and occupied by people outside the youth age brackets. A major concern by the farm workers was the backlog of payments resulting to disincentive to workers. State Council Khadija Bangura asked whether the Ministry of Agriculture was involved in the youth farm project. The project manager answered in the affirmative, but that the level of cooperation was low. Council asked for documents to be tendered to the effect. Council for Persons of Interest Ibrahim Mansare raised the issue of seasonal plantation of crops. At the Youth Village Mine 91, the team found unfinished structure. This is the office of the Youth Village that is supposed to host a campus for the training of young people. When State Council Khadija Bangura asked for the tools that were budgeted for, Technical Manager at the Youth Village, Mile 91, Joanna Koroma, explained that the caretaker carted away the tool. Princess Gibson, SLBC News.
The Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Honorable Emma Kowa-Jallo, has told the Parliamentary Committee on Fisheries from the 1st April the Ministry will launch the fish close season. The close season will last for a month. The move, according to the Minister, is to get more fish stock and address the problem of smuggling in the sector. The Fisheries Minister was speaking at a meeting held by the Parliamentary Committee on Fisheries and Marine Resources at Committee Room in Parliament. Ibrahim Samra report.
The meeting brought together representatives from the Sierra Leone Industrial Fishing Association and officials from the Ministry of Fisheries. The engagement was a follow-up on the committee findings varying their oversight to the various fishing companies. Health, sanitation and hygiene, labor and welfare were the problems identified during their oversights. The Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Honorable Emma Kowa-Jallo, said her ministry has undertaken a number of reforms to transform the ministry, and they have been also giving support to players in the fishing industry. She called on the Fisheries Committee to help educate their constituents about the importance of the 1-month fishing closing season, noting that there are enough fish in stores.
In the past, been getting complaints about different species depreciating in the water, but apart from that, even the species that we like so much, they are coming out in smaller sizes. Some of the artisanal people do complain that when they throw their nets, they get pebbles and plastics back instead of fish. So we are closing the waters to the industrial fishing for 1 month. That's for the period of the 1st of April to the 30th of April.
She said some of the concerns raised by the workers in the fishing industry will be adequately looked into, noting that the issue on labor, nurses and welfare should be handled by the Ministry of Labor. The chairperson Committee on Fisheries and Marine Resources, Honorable Nene Levy, said the meeting was to update them on their findings to the various fishing industries to get a first-hand information on their activities and challenges. Honorable Levy said the problems of staff welfare, sanitation, documentation and labor
came out prominently and called on the Fisheries Minister and the Sierra Leone Industrial Fishing Association to swiftly address those challenges.
This to the committee is a recipe for the unjust treatment of Sierra Leonean workers in these foreign companies. Government observers, monitoring officers should be attached to each fishing vessel to give situation reports. The hygiene facilities in some of these companies, of course, we talked about that, must be improved. Some workers do not have NACIT numbers, that has been mentioned. Some of the foreigners in those fishing companies do not have an up-to-date work permit, that too has been mentioned. Proprietors of fishing companies should ensure that they carry out various corporate social responsibilities in their different communities.
President of the Sierra Leone Industrial Fishing Association, Ibrahim Basim, lauded the Fisheries Committee for hosting the meeting, noting that the fishery industry is a strategic component contributing to the economy of the country. He said 80% of their catch is sold locally. He promised that the association will continue to work with the Fisheries Ministry to address the problem of smuggling. Deputy Leader of Government Business, Honorable Martin Numa, and Deputy Chief Whip of the ruling SLPP, Honorable Alusan Kane, said the government is determined to improve the fishing industry, thus assuring them that their doors are always open if they have any challenge. Honorable Kane said the Sustainable Development Goals emphasized the need to protect the country's marine resources, its coastal, and prevent illegal fishing. Honorable Kathleen Tarawali said during the committee visit they found out that most fishing companies lack proper documentation, no working permit for some foreign workers, poor sanitation, and welfare issues, among others. Representatives from fishing companies described the engagement with the Fisheries Committee, the industry, and Fishing Ministry as timely. They told the committee that they are having challenges with electricity and high taxes, among others. Ibrahim Samura, Freetown.
Build and nurture a professional community whose interests span all sectors in the country. The Sierra Leone Institute of Geoscientists have held an end-of-month session to bring geology students and other stakeholders about their operations in the country. The session took place at the conference room of the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources at Newshour Building in Freetown. Rose Stevens reports.
Geoscientists intend to serve as a driving force to enable Sierra Leonean geoscientists harness and nurture their practices fully for the benefit of the country, underscoring the essence of geology and giving an overview of diamonds in West Africa. The Chief Executive Officer, Sierra Diamonds Limited, Carl Smithson, spoke about diamond production statistics, stages in kimberlite exploration, and prospective target areas with specific case study on the Tongo mine development and the Newfield resources. He said Newfield has been operating safely and successfully in West Africa for over 17 years with the aim of driving positive economic progress within communities, among others.
The purpose of the presentation was really just to give a background on the diamond sector in West Africa, and then with a focus on the Tongo mine development in eastern Sierra Leone, whereby we're going to be commencing development of a new underground diamond mine in Sierra Leone. and a mine which will last hopefully for a long, long time. Well, the mine is forecast to create over 700 jobs, up to 1,000 in the construction phase. Predominantly these will be Sierra Leonean jobs, and predominantly from the Lower Bambara community where we are developing the project.
The former Secretary General of the Sierra Leone Institute of Geoscientists, Solomon Tucker, said the purpose of the session is to abreast geoscientists in the country about the importance of their career, noting that as the world evolves, Sierra Leonean professionals need to stay in step and should develop and maintain standards for professional practice.
One of them is the monthly general meeting. And at the monthly general meetings, we have topics and topical issues put on the floor and discussed by experts, by people who have been in the industry for many years. So effectively, it serves as an upbuilding process. It also serves as a peer discussion opportunity, so that every geoscientist who either is in practice or not in practice gains an opportunity to build their careers, their future, and their understanding. So that was the rationale behind this meeting today.
Geoscientists provide effective representation on issues affecting the status and perception of geoscience professionals in the country, as they support knowledge-based culture through continuous education programs and networking opportunities by providing high-quality, accessible, relevant courses to help enhance employment opportunities for its members, thereby creating sustainable development in the country. Reporting for SLBC, Rose Konima Stevens.
You're watching Newshour from the Salem Broadcasting Corporation. I am Maria Musuma. Forum for Africa Educationalist FAWI has inducted new members into the organization in fulfillment of the fight against women and girls child education in the country. The induction coincides with their 24th anniversaries and their 10th General Assembly, which has as its theme, Women and Girls Need More, Empowerment, Less Harassment. The event took place at Defense Hall, Hill Station, Freetown. Cynthia Camara reports.
Coming in as new members, you are coming in as vibrant ladies, and so far we expect a lot from you. We do hope that you're coming in, you would enhance the membership, you will change the dynamics of the membership. We expect to benefit from your vigor, your expertise, your dedication, your exuberance, your commitment.
Past National Chair Elfrida Scott welcomed the 19 inductees to the FAWE Sierra Leone chapter, adding that they are the mouthpiece for FAWE, therefore they should be committed to sacrifice their time and resource to see FAWE achieved higher heights. Presenting the inductees, President FAWE Freetown Branch Grace Fuller outlined some of the aims and objectives of the chapter and their obligations to FAWE.
Mutual assistance and collaboration in developing national capabilities to accelerate the participation of girls and women in education at all levels in Sierra Leone, in line with education for all.
The 19 inductees publicly declared their acceptance to become members of FAWE and promised to uphold its objectives and activities. According to National Chair Salimatu Nkoroma, the organization look forward to work with the new inductees so that they can enhance the dignity of womanhood through education and develop the nation through this forum of empowerment. Giving the keynote address and declaration of the General Assembly, Head of Policy and Programs, Plan International Sierra Leone, Miriam Morin, admonished FAWE administration to work with men in the fight against sexual violence and harassment against women. She advised the FAWE to work with other organizations to promote women and girls in the country, which she believes will add more value to the FAWE.
We need more empowerment. Empowerment is a word which has some risk. You don't empower people, you enhance their empowerment. You empower yourself.
Because when your mother trains you, for example, it is left with you to take it or not. I am giving you the assignment today to start talking about Fawe in your churches, in your offices, in parliament, in your councils, in the Ministry of Education, in the Ministry of Health, in the Ministry of Finance, anywhere you go. And this is the only way Fawe can make it. Because you are a strong woman. Somebody should not push you to the corners.
She advised Fawe members to fight corruption and tribalism in order to succeed, which will make them more relevant in promotion of women and girls' education. Cynthia Kamara, SLBC News.
Solicitor General Mohamed Lamin Tarawali has subscribed to the oath of office before President Julius Maada Bio at State House in Freetown. The swearing-in ceremony targeted judges, magistrates, and other legal practitioners. The Constitution of Sierra Leone clearly establishes the office of a Solicitor General, which shall be a public office. How
Do hereby in the name of God.
Do hereby in the name of Allah.
Swear that I will faithfully and truly.
Swear that I will faithfully and truly.
Discharge the duties of the Solicitor General of the Republic of Sierra Leone.
Discharge the duties of the Solicitor General of the Republic of Sierra Leone.
Of support.
In support.
Uphold. And maintain the Constitution of Sierra Leone.
And maintain the Constitution of Sierra Leone.
As by law established.
As by law established.
So help me Allah.
So help me Allah.
Reading the warrants at the swearing ceremony, Secretary to President Dr. Julius Sandi stated that subsection 2 of section 65 provides for the appointment of the Solicitor General by the President by warrant under his hand on the advice of the Judiciary and Legal Service Commission. The Secretary to the President disclosed that the Constitution of Sierra Leone also provides for the Solicitor General, before assuming the functions of his office, to take and subscribe to the oath as set out in the third schedule to the Constitution of Sierra Leone 1991. The newly appointed Solicitor General, Mohamed Lamin Tarawali, commended President Julius Maada Bio for the confidence reposed in him by appointing him as Solicitor General, adding that he is extremely grateful and will not disappoint the government, as he is very much aware of the strides of the President during this 1 year in office. He said it is good to revamp the legal system, as a good legal system is part of the development and growth of any nation. The Solicitor General told President Julius Maada Bio that it will be a pleasure for him to work with the Attorney General and Minister of Justice to build, develop and improve the Justice Department, which is the law officers department and also the largest government law firm.
We must first be responsible, Mr. President, to ourselves and to this nation. It is said that if our laws are to be respected, we must respect the laws. In my view, these are doable. It requires commitment, dedication, professionalism, and discipline. It is part of the vision of a new direction, to which I pledge my support. With respect to the past and outgone Solicitor General, who have paved the way for the first homegrown and locally trained Solicitor General to occupy that mantle, I doff my hat. I will continue the best of my ability to discharge the duties with grace, self-discipline, candor, and respect the office deserves.
President Julius Maada Bio noted that the Solicitor General was meticulously chosen and they are going to demand more from him, as the country has lagged behind and there is the need to catch up. President Bio highlighted that there are very good signs that his administration is on the right track, encouraging him to work in close collaboration with the law firm as much is expected of him.
You know your duties, of course, I expect, but we are going to demand more from you. As you know, we are lagging behind and we need to catch up. So there's a lot to be done. The H2 to 5 is not enough for us. You need to put in more hours. We are beginning to find our place in society, and we should continue on that path. That is why I want to encourage everybody to really put their hands on deck, because this is not something that we can do alone. There's so much to be done. We have laid around for quite a while, and now it's time to work. And there's so much to do. When we have to do it with speed, because quite a lot of times we encounter delays because of maybe capacity or numbers. But as you join today, formally today, we expect that you are going to contribute to making this nation a better nation.
Solicitor General Mohammed Lamin Tarawali has practiced for 18 years in the law profession. SABC TV News are in Freetown. How Musiri reporting.
Major projects of the Chinese government in Sierra Leone are military aid to ASLAF, Foreign Service Academy, education, among others. This was disclosed by the chargé d'affaires of the Chinese embassy in Sierra Leone, Wang Xiangming, at a press conference held at the Chinese embassy in Freetown. Daphne Kimamakoli reports.
Military aid to ASLAF, Foreign Service Academy, education and agriculture, according to the Chinese embassy, are priorities for the development of Sierra Leone. Chargé d'affaires at the Chinese embassy Wang Jimin said Chinese Ministry of Defense has decided to provide 50 million yuan military aid gratis to the ASLAF, which he added would be utilized for refurbishment of military officers' quarters and other needs of the military. He said the Foreign Service Academy will provide better training services to career diplomats. Sierra Leonean government proposed to construct a Foreign Service Academy by using Chinese government-aided funds.
First, China's external economic environment has changed. But the long-term growth momentum of the Chinese economy has not. In the world economy, the downward pressure is mounting. Uncertainties and instabilities are increasing. These are caused mainly by weakening driving forces for international trade, increasing turbulence in the international financial markets, accumulating risks, and looming protectionism and unilateralism.
Wang Zimin spoke about the Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation, which is to be held in Beijing in April. The Belt and Road Initiative, he said, originates in China, a platform for open and inclusive cooperation.
Yes, two sessions continue. Poverty reduction, the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, further opening up to foreign investments, and high-quality growth have become the buzzword, attracting the attention of experts and people around the world.
When asked about the status of some Chinese projects and investments in Sierra Leone, like the Jue Hospital and Shandong Steel Mining, Wang Jimin said management by the Sierra Leone government has been a major problem in the operations of the utilities. For SLBC News, Daphne Kimamakoli reporting.
The Sierra Mineral Holdings won Vimetco as paid surface rates to 3 chiefdoms at the CD complex, Mosenesi Junction, Lower Banta Chiefdom, Wemba District. A total of over 1,374 million yuans was paid to landowners and the community. However, it was there.
This is as a result of mining in communities like this. Environmental degradation is also a result of the creation of nearby sites for tailings storage, water storage, dams and reservoirs, beams and waste disposal pits. These alterations to the natural state of the environment are caused by the construction of exploration plant or access roads and mining facilities by heavy-duty mechanized equipment such as off-road vehicles, drill rigs, or seismic exploration vehicles. This is why Vimetco pays surface rent yearly to the community people and landowners in compensation for their land that is being destroyed due to the mining activities. These farmers, whose lands have been degraded due to the mining activities, are however eager to receive the check, which according to some will help boost developmental plans.
I know the FIFA because now they put rest, I get a right to another put rest now.
I wasn't happy when I saw the effect of the mining on my farmland. The swamp land was where I planted rice, but I can't do that now because the land is no longer fertile. I am now going to invest the money on something else and stop farming.
Okay, plant rice day, they come up fine.
When we plant rice on the swamp land, it doesn't grow well because of the waste product of the mining. There is too much dirt and it affects the rice. But I'm happy they built well for us in our community. When I receive my money, I will pay my children's school fees.
Speaking to community people on behalf of the Paramount Chiefs, PC Melrose Perry of Pandakemo Chiefdom Bomth District thanked the National Minerals Agency for their involvement in the payment of the surface rent. She said they, together with Vimetco, have made the process more transparent, but cautioned the community people to stop derailing the progress of the companies by halting their operations whenever they are aggrieved. She highlighted the numerous development Vimetco is undertaking at the moment in communities they operate. Martin Jimmy, Deputy Secretary, Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources, noted that the Mines and Minerals Act of 2019 states how money should be distributed, received, and the amount to be given to each community. He encouraged the people to set up projects as a team, which will in turn benefit their children in the community. Acting General Manager, SMHL Vimetco, Basudeb Datta, thanked landowners for their patience as the surface rent was a bit delayed this year. He noted that because of the cooperation the company is receiving in communities they operate, their company is doing very well in the market. He highlighted to the community people about the extension of their main washing plant, which means they will increase in the amount paid every year. He said for the past 10 years they have been paying surface rent and will continue to do that for as long as they are in the communities. He, however, emphasized the need for the people to invest in the education of their children so that they will be able to secure jobs in the company.
I would like to urge all the recipients, specifically the landowners, to use this money, to utilize this money very wisely, because we should not make this money to be wasted. It has to be in direction of the sustainability of your family, your society, and your future generations, your children. So please ensure that this money is being wisely utilized.
The distribution of checks formed part of the program. Reporting for SLBC, Hawabari.
That was Hawabari reported there, and now we go for some African news. A top Algerian businessman has been arrested while trying to cross into neighboring Tunisia. Ali Haddad is one of the country's richest men and a long-time backer of President Abdelaziz Bouteflika, who is under intense pressure to quit. Demonstrators have been demanding that Mr. Bouteflika and those close to him step aside. Pope Francis has visited Morocco on his latest trip to a predominantly Muslim state. He met migrants and Muslim leaders and held a mass for the country's small Roman Catholic community. The Pope celebrated Mass in a sports center in the Moroccan capital Rabat on Sunday. Delighted worshippers thronged the cathedral. Speaking in Rabat's cathedral, the pontiff warned Catholics against trying to convert people to their own belief, which according to him will lead to an impasse. South Africa's foreign minister has called an urgent meeting with ambassadors following attacks against foreigners in Durban. Early on Monday morning, 3 people died amid protests targeting shops, many of which are foreign-owned. Around 50 people sought shelter at a police station when a group of unemployed youth Africans forced them out of their homes in the night. That's all for African news in Newshour this morning, and now for entertainment. In Sierra Leone, young talented artists are now taking the center stage to ensure that the music industry is promoted. In country, one such young star is Molai Moses Kamara, popularly known as Big Mos, who is an R&B and Zouk singer. He has decided to premiere his musical video titled Till Eternity, and the 7-year-old Ugandan rapper has been asked by the Ugandan youth minister to stop doing music or get arrested. For more on this, let's now join our entertainment desk with Mohamed Kinmilan Bangura and Millicent Lungi.
In Sierra Leone, young talented artists are now taking the center stage to ensure that the music industry is promoted in the country. Sierra Leone musicians are sometimes considered dropped out. The younger stars are now trying to debunk that idea as a fallacy. One shot young star is Molai Mos Kamara, popularly known as Big Mos, who is an R&B and Zouk singer. Big Mos' nickname came because of his ambition in doing big things. He attended the Christchurch Primary School and Albert Academy before proceeding to Maburuka Secondary School. Later entered Fabre College, where he acquired a degree in economics. Big Mos started his musical career when he was in boarding home in Maburuka, where he was miming different international songs. Big Mos said his passion to become a musician was like a dream, though he knew he has the talent. In 2017, he came into active music and recorded his first song titled Natural Mistake. He was in final year in university. He competed in the Sing with Jean Peters singing competition, emerged as the winner of the competition, earning a cash prize of 30 million yuans and a record label with an album. Winning the competition, according to him, was not an easy task, as he had to sing songs given to him by the judges, especially songs that he was not used to. But at the end, he won the reality show. He said his mentors are Cayman Jimmy B. Emerson and the international star Chris Brown. His genre of music as Zouk, R&B, Afrobeat, but recently he plays R&B. Stressed that musicians should start singing songs that people should appreciate worldwide. Big Mos has decided to premiere his musical video titled Till Eternity, which talks about 2 lovers in deep relationship vowing to love each other till death.
Well, Till Eternity is a touching love story. It's telling the story of 2 people who eventually fell in love, but then there is one, because falling in love comes in 2 ways. There is one in which probably the guy is the one who is more interested in the relationship like that. But then for me, I was the one who was more interested in the relationship.
He called on the general public to respect Sierra Leone musicians and to divert from the thought that musicians are drop out. He said the musicians, in other hands, should refrain from all forms of violence and negative songs. He asked the government to give full support to the entertainment industry, as other countries are very supportive towards their artists. Patrick Seyonjo, whose popular name is called Fresh Kid, is a Ugandan 7-year-old rapper who has been asked by the Ugandan Youth Minister Florence Nikawala to stop doing music or get arrested. The Youth Minister has made it clear that the 7-year-old should quit rapping, go to school full-time, or face the consequence of being taken to juvenile prison. After allegation that Fresh Kid was not attending school and could perform late at night while his age group are studying, a move the Youth Minister considered as child labor. The Constitution clearly states that no one under the age of 18 is allowed to work. Therefore, Fresh Kid should not be working, rather be in school. Anyone found aiding his musical career will have to face the full law, said the minister. Francis Kamuga, Fresh Kid's manager, however, refuted the claims, stating that the 7-year-old was indeed attending school. Speaking to Entertainment Press, Francis says Fresh Prince only perform over the weekend and does not get paid for it, therefore it shouldn't be considered as work. His manager said cover Fresh Kid in a rural village miming some songs, brought him to the city and started paying his school fees. There are mixed feelings taken by the Uganda youth minister, as some Ugandans are saying that they just want to deprive the ability and talent of Fresh Kid.
Oh, well, many thanks to Mohamed Kinmilan for putting that report together. And now to end the news, the main point again. The Sierra Leone Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative Slaty Secretariat has concluded sensitization and dissemination on the 2015-2016 EITA report. Over 200 Sierra Leoneans from Salmon Chiefdom who fled over the border to neighboring Guinea for fear of alleged harassment by the Sierra Leone police have returned home. And 50 Most Influential Women Committee have awarded about 50 women for their contributions to national development. That's the end of the news with me, Mariam Suma. Thanks for watching. Continue to stay with us.